Welcome everybody to the Give It Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. We are your hosts with most, myself, Black Spartan, Show Guy Joe, Tafari TV. Fellas, it is the weekend. Freaking thankful, but how y'all feeling?
It's another Friday in good old Texas, so there's that.
Nice. Joe?
I can't feel my knees.
Same.
Dang.
And apparently I have a new rap name. Thanks for your patience.
Okay. Before we get to this, let's unpack this. What is the rap name that you were given?
Yeah, sir.
Well, you didn't see the conversation of the day, did you?
No.
I came in, told him, "Hey, I'm Joe. I'm here to get you for a test." They called me. He goes like, "You're a little noisy." Is what you are. It's like, you heard my rap name.
Please don't tell me he referred to you for the whole time he was there.
No, but the wife told him that he needs to be nice and he needs to go and that the nice man's funny. Now get in the stretcher.
Damn, that'll work. Well, as you can see, guys, we are a little bit older, but we do try to watch our language on the leveled up side. At the same time, guys, we do play movies and video game trailers that sometimes may be a little bit too much for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, as you can probably tell, guys, we would be remiss if we don't start with the first thing that, well, kind of had everybody's attention. If you were on IG or if you were on Twitch or Facebook and you pretty much were held hostage for 5 hours, you probably pretty much saw this.
But whose job is it to just monitor the camera every 12 minutes and be like, all right, move it about this minute?
You, Tafari,
or that's got to be the easiest day on set. What do you do today? We just sat there and just shifted 12 minutes. Also, who did the CGI on Paul Rudd's chair?
The individual that literally and figuratively, whose job had to set this up to where all you basically did was roll the camera. Now, again, on the live stream, if you were paying attention, guys, it was very slow. Every I think 3 to 4 minutes, it went to a different name.
12.
Oh, I'm sorry, 12 minutes. Thank you.
Which is why it took 5 hours.
I mean, I would give it to him. If you wanted to keep everybody's attention for the better part of a day, that's how you do it. But if you've been under a rock, this is actually what's going on. The Russo brothers are directing Avengers Doomsday, and we got to actually see the opening cast. Now, Tafari, I'm going to throw it to you because you had an interesting theory about this live showing, and if you don't mind repeating what you said on your Tafari TV post.
I was fully kidding. I hate that I even noticed that in real time. But yeah, if you look at like the Instagram, like the short reel Paul Rudd's chair is normal size, but if you watch like the stream, his chair is small. So I was like, yo, all the theory people are gonna be like, actually, it's 2 different casting announcements in 2 timelines. Everybody will be playing 2 variants of the same character. I'm like, sadly, I know someone out there actually believes that. It's probably like writing a video right now. I was fully kidding. If that comes true, just putting that out there.
Yep. But as you can see, everything does lead with Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom, so we're not surprised about that. We also know that the casting is not done, that more casting is bound to come out. So what we saw at the end of this video, or if you've been paying attention to the 5 hours live stream, this is not the end of Avengers Doomsday. Hey, Brian, what's going on? I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Aren't we freaking all? Cyclops looks amazing.
He will not be in Sonic 4.
Yeah, it's a shame James Marsden will not be in Sonic 4, so that either tells us that they're killing off his character or the Donut Lord is moving. One of the two.
No, the Donut Lord is probably having a baby and they're going to be at the hospital the whole movie.
I think they're going back to Mobius. That is my theory. I think they're fully going to take them home. I think we might find Sally Acorn and Amy are freedom fighters. That way you can skip the damsel in distress story. And I think there was some leaked concept art about like future King Eggman. So I could see Blaze, Silver, and a lot of those characters being back home where no one has been all these years, and Metal Sonic has come from a faraway alternate future. I don't know. I think we're leaving Earth, and that will be how they get rid of them. But as far as this, Marvel said, what did they say? Because they wanted the stats on everything. Joe, what were you gonna say while I pull it up?
No, yeah, Joe. What's your thoughts on this?
This is definitely round 1 because we're missing a lot of people. There's like no Spider-Man, although Spider-Man 4 is rumored to take place while this is happening, which doesn't make sense because they're all transported to different versions of Battle World.
Yeah.
There's no Marvels. None of the surviving members of the Eternals. None of the street level heroes.
Young Avengers, I think, are all missing.
Right.
Some of the main Avengers are missing.
Somewhere Tom Holland's going, this is not my fault. Do not ask me anything.
No Doctor Strange either.
Right.
No Nick Fury, no Doctor Strange, no Carol, no Spectrum, because now the most important after credit thing is now from the Marvels because Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah,
definitely.
No Jeremy Renner.
No Kate
Bishop.
Kate Bishop. Yeah, it's there's a lot of folks actually missing. That's what I was trying to tell folks when they came out and said,
none of the Hulks.
Yeah. Oh, we don't expect to see anybody, but we don't expect to see. What the crazy part is, and now that I think about this, would the Russo brothers be crazy enough to try to see if Edward Norton would come in and play, or if Eric Bana would come in and play their previous roles?
Who'd they play?
They all play the Hulk. They all play Bruce Banner.
The peasants are all Hulks, and it's entirely possible. But also, we don't have Ryan Reynolds, so we'll never understand why Thor was crying.
Pretty much.
I think everybody missing is going to get set up for. I think we're going to get multiple projects that pull an Ant-Man 2, whereas here's Infinity War, here's some in-between stuff. Oh, the snap happened in the middle of this movie or at the end credits of this movie, and it sets up. I think everybody we're missing is getting set up for Secret Wars, which, yeah, it's weird. We have almost a lot of the OG people coming back for X-Men.
Right.
But they didn't know Tiana Paris.
No, Brian said they said Hulk and She-Hulk. So okay, so that could also be happening too.
But no, what is her name? Is hero named Photon?
Yeah,
Photon. Yeah,
no Photon or Binary. We got no Storm. We did get a Cyclops.
Right. We gained back a Cyclops.
Wait, Cyclops? We're like the guy from.
That's who the James Martin. That's Donut Lord. The Donut Lord from your Sonic movies. There was a movie at one time, a long time ago, called X-Men, to where we literally thought we had a good thing, and your beloved Donut Lord was actually playing Cyclops.
He was.
Yeah, he was playing Cyclops.
Two good movies and one bad movie.
Donut Lord is the president in Paradise too, which I thought they were just gonna like one and done him in the first episode, but he makes appearances throughout the whole show.
So
And his popularity is why they did him the way they did in X3.
okay, so that explains a lot because I was wondering how they're going to do Paradise. Which also, if you haven't seen Paradise on Hulu, highly recommend it. Very good show.
I have a
Brian,
feeling.
second season of She-Hulk is happening. Sadly, that's incorrect. You mean thankfully, because that's one of the most accurate representations of She-Hulk there is.
Brian, one day we're going to get you on this show because I want your opinion on that. But speaking of that, hey, Captain.
I had this weird thing.
His chair
timing.
wasn't in the lineup.
Oh,
You
hey,
have
look.
casted in Avengers Doomsday.
Yes,
He's
fellas,
the son
what's
of
happening?
Nick Fury.
Not
Yes, I
much.
am.
Not much, Captain. We were actually talking about the 5-hour we all got held hostage live streaming of Avengers Doomsday Casting. And since, sir, you are...
They've held hostage of me since I was able to read.
And since,
Again,
sir, you are the...
email.
I was going to say, since, sir, you are the lead on Doom and all things Doom, just your opinions on the casting so far.
It was what I expected. I'm looking forward to seeing Secret Wars. Oops, I'm sorry, Doomsday. So yeah, we those that are in the know of comics, we have theories, and we figured this is where it was going to go. It was just a natural progression. They bringing the Russos back is a good move, and them building this up, still dealing with the multiverse and dealing with all the different variants of everything. So just seeing those lineups, the lineups that really got me was I was like, oh, they got Patrick Stewart. Oh, they got Ian McKellen. Oh, Alan Cumming. Oh,
Right.
James Martin. I was like, wait, they just brought back the entire crew? I was like, okay, I'll take it.
Almost every name but Halle Berry. But I guess
Yeah.
that might be coming down the pipe too.
Who did
Yeah,
James?
they're not done.
Who did James Martin play?
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
He was Cyclops, but
He
then
was
he
Cyclops.
was Cyclops, and then he got 2003 Eddie Brock popular and couldn't afford to be everywhere at once, but also kept getting paid to be everywhere at once,
Right.
I have
which
a
is why he's in so many now.
Well, what is your theory, sir?
What if Beast finds a way to get the X-Men and Photon back into the main universe while Doomsday is happening, and they do like an Avengers Endgame, like where they all just spawn out of nowhere?
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's the plan.
Mhm.
That's the plan,
I
sir.
feel like we're moving to Ultimate Alliance, but instead of that HQ where everyone's just hanging out in Avengers Tower, it's just multiversal doors opened up like a highway all the time. Or
Yeah.
we get a
Look.
crisis situation where
Right.
everybody's just like, here's the piece of your Earth we could save. We're just gonna put y'all together now because we couldn't.
If you look right above the right side of the screen, or left side of the screen for you guys, but right there is the map that took place for Secret Wars 2. So, yeah,
Aren't we all?
Super-
What's the bad thing for everybody is just the TVA.
yeah.
I was gonna say no Wanda either, and if that comic is accurate, God, what they could. I would not be shocked if she's just in a pod down there. And Loki, are we gonna see him finally cut the strands from Sony that he doesn't like, or does Doom go down there and burn the whole tree, and Loki saves what little bit he can? Maybe
It's possible. It is
Yeah.
possible. It is possible he could. The world tree could be affected by that. So
I'm curious
Yeah.
to see if we get him or a variant, or if he like astral projects himself from the chair into timelines in danger, because they basically set him up to be god of stories and almost not that he can't intervene, but he's busy. So
One word, 2 words, Doombot.
true.
I wouldn't be shocked if that's the reveal, is Doombots have been busy doing all this. But
I wouldn't be surprised.
275 million views, 27 shares, 5 hours, and the top comment with 11,000 likes. You're welcome. Now never announce anything like this ever again.
I will give it to him. But before we move on to the Cosmic Invasion trailer, one other question we'll throw around to everybody. are the Russo brothers possibly saving and resetting the MCU phase as we know it, or is it just that more needs to be weighed before we make a decision on that?
They're probably gonna save it.
They are
I don't think they're not in any danger. Look at Daredevil.
I mean, that's true. But
I think they're doing what.
You say look at Daredevil, but remember, we're dealing with a show that already got made, got canned, got chopped up, and then remade into the show we're watching now.
And it's and they were better and they were
I'm
better
not
for
saying
it.
anything bad about it. I'm just saying, remember,
Oh,
we're watching bits and pieces re-edited together into a competent show.
well,
and
then
the fact that they even re-edited and you still have a very well flowing narrative
right.
is
With
speaking
really
volumes
fine
too.
CP.
And that's three of your main actors having to put their foot down and be like, fix this or I'm not doing it. You had Kingpin, Punisher, and Daredevil say like, this is not the show we signed up for.
Amazing when your three main characters are all trying to tell you something and you listen. See,
Yes.
Disney, not that freaking hard. But again, once more casting does come out for Avengers Doomsday, we will definitely talk about it. But that wasn't the only Marvel news that we got. We are getting another Marvel game called Marvel Cosmic Invasion, made by the same people that did Streets of Rage, the most rebooted Streets of Rage, that actually did the rebooted Double Dragon. And it gives me confidence. Tafari beat me to this because it gives me confidence to show that this is probably going to be one of the games that I'm definitely going to be playing and purchasing. But here's the trailer.
It's so 90s.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it will be sometime this year. That's all we're getting. 2025. Will be available on all platforms: Steam, Switch, PS4, PS5, and Xbox. Probably Xbox One if you still got it. But fellas, just going around the bend because I think Brian beat us to it. Yep, it's gonna be great. And yeah, just like Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Also the same company that actually did make Shredder's Revenge, Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. But fellas, how do we feel?
I know that me and my father are definitely playing this game.
Is the Captain Marvel that we're seeing, is that because somebody mentioned
That's
this.
Quasar.
I was saying, is that the little girl from the end of
Yes.
Guardians?
Yes.
Yes.
Does she become a Captain Marvel in the comics?
No,
She becomes a Quasar.
can't Quasar.
So she's Quasar just with
Two.
Marvels.
Yeah.
Is that
We
so?
just have a similar costume.
Okay, because that's what a lot of people were confused on. They're like, all right, so is she Captain Marvel? Is Quasar just Captain Marvel's real name, or
Yeah.
No.
This game is so 90s because Nova's got that goofy giant mullet ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's in their 90s.
I thought I was the only one that see that.
Nah, we all saw it. Also, Bo DeMaio, please do not ruin this for us.
yeah, stop tweeting, man. Go work.
Please.
Go draw, work.
Let's have some nice things, man. It's okay.
Wait, you weighed in on this?
I'm just because usually when it's something X-Men, he's starting to pop up like little Manny.
He spent all his time going in on the final chair announcements, and it was just like, man, go take a walk, touch the grass, get some like Lego blocks or the Rubik's Cube, do something. I don't.
Right.
And even one of the people I love you, dude, but these fits you're starting to have is very much turning people off. Could you please stop? But .emu has very much built their reputation. I like it. I platinum TMNT. I think the week it came out, it's fun to play with people. I didn't get a chance. I know they didn't do it, but it's the same vein. I didn't get a chance to play Rita's Rewind for Power Rangers, but I heard that's just as good.
It was fun.
And then you get 2 characters to rotate out of, so I think we're getting a bigger roster on this too.
Oh, if we do, I'm already seeing because we're getting X-Men. I mean, we're getting the Silver Age Wolverine. You're getting Nova, which again, we're still waiting on Nova. We are still waiting on Nova to pop up somewhere in the MCU.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, yeah, they got to do something with him at some point.
Yeah, we're still waiting on him to pop up. What do you say, Chad?
Nova might either be in a Guardians of the Galaxy end credit scene, or he might be in like a Spider-Man end credit scene.
You're probably got a better chance of talking Spider-Man Guardians right now.
Oh yeah, no Star-Lord either.
Yeah.
They said the Star-Lord returned.
Since this is like a 90s game, this is not a time period for the Guardians of the Galaxies. They were not.
It's not. I just remember from the casting announcement, I'm like, all the Earthbound people and even the Thunderbolts minus Taskmaster. That's pretty much writing on the wall.
Right.
They could be in it. Silver Surfer could be in it.
Ghost Rider could be in it.
Green Hulk and the Pantheon could be in it.
Yeah.
They put a Ghost Rider.
The West Coast Avengers could be in it.
Because the thing about it, yeah, I mean, you're right, Chad. Those are the characters, and along with Joe said, could all be in it. So, but again,
the Great Lakes Avengers could be in it. I mean,
true. That's true. The Great Lakes Avengers. I'll tell you about it later. But trust me, I'll tell you. I will tell you. Just that's why Chris is laughing. I will tell you later. But
the new Fantastic Four could be in it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
you don't know who the new Fantastic Four are.
Fantastic Four yet, Chad. You know about the movie, but not the comic.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you later. I promise.
So during a time period, the new Fantastic Four was made up of Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah. So like I have a comic, and on the back of it, it showed like Joe Fixit, Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and Spider-Man.
Yes.
Like, what is this team?
That's the new Fantastic Four.
That's the new Fantastic Four. As Brian says, give me an Ultimate Alliance remake. You know, look, from your lips to their ears, I'm just saying. But again, not too long from now, because it's gonna be the same year. Could be a summer release, could be a winter release. We don't really know, but once we do get that information, we will pass that along. Patapon.
A deep cut just for Chris. Bloodlust could be in this.
Just saying. I'm just saying.
Wrong. But Tafari, because you found an interesting trailer. Patapon. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced.
I think they say it in the trailer. I heard enough people mention it.
I used to play it.
Oh, well, then, go ahead, Joe. If you mean just play the trailer, you want to tell us what's it about?
No, go play it. It's just a rhythm-based game. It's fun.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, here it is.
Beloved rhythm games, Patapon 1 and 2 are back together in one bundle. Patapon 1 plus 2, Replay. Hopelessly lost and full of despair, the Patapons sent out their bravest in search of the Holy Drum. With the legendary drum in hand, guide the Patapons as the new Mighty One to Earthend. Advance, full speed ahead. Attack, ready, aim, fire. Connect combos with various commands. Got the fever! The original fun is still there, but now with enhanced high-resolution visuals. The support functions are newly implemented for easy play. With delicate and mysterious patapons. Let's make some noise for Fever Time! We're waiting for your drum tones. Patapon 1+2. Replay.
I mean, I'm not gonna knock it. That's one of those things. I started to wonder, was this around the same time as Parappa the Rapper?
Yep.
Okay.
I had to think about it. I had to think about that.
And Katamari Damacy.
I would say
Okay.
that and Katamari were very much those games with like, I don't get it, but you're making enough noises and stuff to get my attention to where I'm like, if I get my hands on it, I might like it. I don't understand what's going on, but I am intrigued.
I will say this: if you woke up at 3:00 in the morning and this was going on, would it kind of freak you out?
No, I would actually be excited. I might join in. It reminds me of Battle Cats.
You would not be freaked out if you woke up half asleep and you saw this play on your screen.
If I saw that playing on my screen, I'd be excited.
Yeah, this is the type of random thing that gets the brain going, and it's like it tells you what it is, but it gives you enough curiosity to want to try it. Because like I would wake up to those Toonami reviews and I'm like, I don't understand Katamari. You just roll the ball and collect stuff, but I still want to try it for myself because I want to know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Katamari or Patapon 2 also gives you what's called the hero pawns, where you can choose a spear, archer, and a swordsman.
Okay.
Special Patapon to be your leader. You can upgrade them to be bigger and meaner, and same thing with your troops. And Patapon 1, you just kind of like leveled everybody. But yeah, like more of a focused hero on Patapon 2.
Well, it is kind of interesting. But for those that are wondering, it'll be available July 11th of this year. So again, not bad. It just reminded me of Parappa the Rapper every time I kept looking at it. Like rhythm-based games used to be a big thing at the time, but
Kids in the mind.
interesting. Oh, everybody, you still remember the line? It's all right.
Yeah, that was one of the few things from the direct that caught my eye. Pokemon Z Legends, we've already talked about. Even from the gameplay trailer, it's not much we haven't seen from Legends Arceus, which was kind of that old school prehistoric Pokemon game we wanted. And then they just was like, all right, that's enough of that. And then moved right on to what Scarlet and Violet. Well, not Pikmin. Metroid 4, okay, I guess. I wasn't.
It was. I still say it was off. I'm sorry. I'm a Metroid fan, but it was off.
For me, it's the fact that like you you haven't had access legally to 2 and 3 since the Wii when they came out with the trilogy, which you should have just did for the Switch. Because even people who played all of them, now you have a bunch of people who only refreshed their brains or been introduced to the first game. Now they're about to jump into the fourth game, and the fourth game feels like the first game reskinned. Oh look, ancient race of people. Samus is the chosen one. Special powers, chaos, even down to the plant boss being the first one.
Right.
It felt like, didn't we just see a little bit of telekinetic powers? Cool, but like, and then once I tried to understand more of the Metroid lore, Prime almost makes no sense whatsoever. And then finding out you work for a federation, my question is now, why didn't you just blow this entire planet to bits and call it a day?
Pretty much. And that's the thing as a Metroid fan. I'm like, I wanted a Metroid game just because, number one, you have a Switch 2 coming out. You could give us something different than a Mario game. You can give us something that we've always asked for. But Metroid should have been great. But this, like I said, out of this direct that happened this past Thursday, there was nothing that just screamed. And I chalked it up to just, it's not my demographic. I chalked it up to the games they were showing were just not my demographic. They were just trying to, as Joe, you said that this was them rushing at the last of the games, right, for this season.
That's what it felt like.
So it's just and again, this is before we went live. Tafari had an excellent point. Why not just combine this direct and the next upcoming direct in April as one freaking thing? Because I'm going to be honest with the Nintendo Direct, it gave me nothing. I was still confused about Metroid, and outside of not mentioning anything about the Switch 2 or what else you're going to do with it, it just didn't make any sense. But Cap, what about you? Did you get to catch the Direct, or how'd you feel about it?
I didn't get to touch the Direct yet. I'm just now literally was playing my PS5 before I came on. I was playing Miles Morales Spider-Man, and
oh, that beautiful masterpiece.
Yeah, and uploading Prince of Persia, playing my son's Final Fantasy game, Rebirth.
Hey, did everybody get the TMNT collection before that goes away?
Oh, you might.
I didn't. I forgot to download.
You might want to tell everybody, Tafari, for those on the PlayStation Network, if you do have if you are signed up on PS Plus, game releases that came out, one of them being the TM Mutant Turtles Cowabunga collection. I think it's still available right now. I don't think that's cut off anytime soon. But
yeah, you got the Cowabunga collection. I forget what the third game is, and Sonic Colors with, I think, all the patches it was missing on day one. So
yeah, I had the Cowabunga collection, but I took it off because I wanted to put Uncharted on.
I think as long as you downloaded it, you don't have to add it to your console. But as long as you add to library, then you got it. That's one of the few games I'm like, I don't want people to miss out on that one.
Yeah, as long as you add to your library, you're good. You can download it back at any time. But speaking of impressions, because I know Joe has played it, I have played it. Before we go on to the next beta trailers, I am talking about the fact that nobody. Well, let me take that back. Some of us may have chosen the Stealthy Ninja, but for me, I chose him. Because I wanted you to know I was coming. I am talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, the game that, had a lot of controversy, a lot of pushbacks, a lot of delays, and is now out. Joe, I will go with you first, sir. What were your impressions now that you've had the game for a little while?
I did not playing as Yasuke because there are other samurai games out there that do better than what he does. I love playing Naoe because she is what the game is supposed to be about. I had to turn on the full assassination meter because I don't believe there's such a thing as assassinating a person only a little bit. I don't understand the point of multi-choice dialogue in this game because it does not affect the overall outcome of the game in any ways at any point in this in the story.
Okay.
The English voice acting is very flat. So I rebooted the game, deleted the save off the PS5, and restarted entirely from Jump Street for Japanese. I like Yasuke's story. Mm-hmm. He's literally the only antagonist and protagonist in all of Assassin's Creed that was actually a real person, but there are two better samurai games out there if you're going to be a samurai. Like, you got Rise of the Ronin and you got Ghost of Tsushima. Again, narratively, fantastic. Gameplay-wise, Jin Sakai beats the gameplay out every single time playing as Yasuke. Also, Junjiro, sweet, sweet kid. He looks like he comes from Beyblade. Like the design, he looks like he comes from a Beyblade cartoon. Super sweet kid. Very talented. But again, I don't see a paintbrush in his hand. I see a Beyblade. I think they hold your hand too much in this game a little bit too, with like stuff like the scouts. You have this beautiful, gorgeous open world environment, and they let you pinpoint your assassinations a little too easily with using the scouts. I think the weather changes too quickly. I think in my playtime, 10 years have passed because that's how quickly the seasons just rotate in this game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so they go like Fable.
In a way,
the seasons change like Fable then. Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have very little negative about this game from what I've played thus far. I'm really enjoying my time. Nanaue is fun. Great story with her. I look forward to doing Yasuke's stuff when I get to him, but I'm more enthralled with with the Naoi than I am Yasuke right now. It's just his gameplay did not just didn't mesh with me because I'm like, I've done this better in other games. This is not Assassin's Creed. This is something entirely different. But that's just me on that part. Everything else I really, really like. But again, just small things I have to adjust for myself, like making it, putting it in canon mode because I don't see the point of it. The narrative doesn't deviate unlike it did in Odyssey
Mm-hmm.
too much. Like I'm not trying to proposition people like I did when I was in Odyssey because you could get into like a lot of we're an adult thing. You can get invited to a lot of sex parties in Odyssey really
Yeah.
easily just by talking to people.
Yeah.
You're not doing that in this game.
I love how
Uh,
Joe said. I love how Joe it was like.
You can't
I
have
love.
it.
I,
Go ahead.
no, I said I love how Joe was just like. I'm trying to find a way to say this. Oh, screw it.
Well, I
it's
mean,
late.
I got a kiddo right there. I'm trying to be as friendly as I can about this.
Oh, it's late night. Go ahead and let it go and fire off, Joe.
Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to fire off too much. Like, I truly do like this game. It's just when you're the ninja in Assassin's Creed, it's fantastic. When I'm the samurai, as fantastic as he is as a person, as awesome as it is, and we're playing as our first once living protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
When the game becomes a samurai game, there are two better samurai games out there already. I think this one holds your hand a little bit too much. With like the scouting system and whatnot. Like I said, the thing that got me was when you assassinate somebody, uh, if it's not turned on, it only deals a little bit of health. And like I've never heard of them only assassinating somebody a little bit. They're either really, really dead or not.
True. I will say this from my side. I love playing Yasuke. I do. It's brutality. And it's coming from a guy that treats most, and again, I have treated almost every Assassin's Creed game as this. It's still a stealth mission if there are no witnesses. So I understand that's not the proper way to play it, but that's the way I like to have fun with it. I am very much deep in this story. I do love his gameplay.
I want to interrupt one thing because I thought of the perfect analogy of this. This is the
See, with,
Superman analogy.
it's still some choppy bits, especially with his fighting style, and that there were some misses with the counters and things of that nature. That being said, I have yet to play Nue as far as the other character, just because I really just want to give this a shot with him, and just it is different. So yes, I know for a lot of people, it's like, well, it's supposed to be a stealth game. I'm sorry, there's just something about kicking in the doors, waving a weapon, and saying pull up. It's just something about that goes, okay, you know you're going to take this person out. I know I'm going to have to go through waves of you. I'm going to go through the waves of your friends to get to you. Cool. And also the Spartan kick is always fun to do too. But again, I'm about, like Joe said, the time is like Fable, so it does pass rather quickly. I think there are some things that are going to be assessed in the patchwork that comes out for that. So overall, I would recommend that it is a game worth playing. Still, we support physical media here. So if you can get the game on disc, we highly recommend that you do. Although there's nothing wrong with digital, we just prefer to have the disc in case the internet goes out. But in my opinion,
or your network goes down.
or we're looking at you, PlayStation. Your network seems to go down more than Microsoft does. But I would say if you are on the fence about Shadows, at least give it a shot. I love it. There are some issues, but I think those issues will be fixed as more patches come through. But that's just my opinion, Joe. Do you recommend that AC Shadows for playing, or would you rather wait till patches come in, or how do you feel?
Oh no, because I'm playing I'm playing the antithesis of you. I'm playing like the proper the Assassin's Creed game. I'm stealth. They don't know I'm there. By the time they know I'm there, I've already left.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this: I thought of the proper analogy. This is the Superman analogy at the end of Justice League, where he is a man in a world of cardboard.
Wow.
I
Tafari,
mean, he is. He's a man in the land of like paper doors, and
I get what you're saying.
it's that really bad Telegraph Black Adam joke where it focuses on the door and then the wall just caves in.
And says I don't go through doors. But Tafari, Cap, don't know if you guys have y'all played Shadows or you're planning to play it?
I plan
play
on. I just
later.
haven't got it.
Yeah, later down the line for me, but I'm seeing good things.
Okay. Because that's the one thing I just want to get everybody's opinion on. Because again, if you're on the fence about it, me and Joe both recommend it. Even though we're kind of we're on polar opposite sides of who we're playing, but still, we're all having fun. That's the main thing.
I see whoever runs their socials is tired of everybody's crap this week, though.
Yeah.
I wonder who they got permission on that, because that's not like an edited tweet for like parody purposes. Someone legitimately got like authorization from the higher ups to say that.
I just want to know if it was the same people that did the Wendy's Twitter.
I think people are taking that note from Wendy's and are finally just saying, "Screw it, troll the hell out of them. Just go with it. It's fun, and it's fun for us. Why not?"
I mean, hey, take your shots. Also, the Get Bit podcast does not endorse arson, firing, or burning Teslas. Just in case anybody gets in the tiffy that we're laughing about the tweet, we don't support arson.
We do, however, say admire that sweet, sweet glow from a safe distance.
Yes, please do not bring marshmallows or anything else to an electrical fire. Please.
Or bring marshmallows. Always bring marshmallows if there's campfire going.
Enjoy the blaze off of those highly recalled items that keep having parts that nobody can get in stock.
Right. I mean, we're all for protesting, but let's not go full on. Let's not go full on anarchy. That's all we're asking.
All we're doing is saying it's not the fact that they look like PS2 trucks. It's the fact that they now have a slight graphical update.
I saw what you did there. I saw where you were going with that.
Wait, is it true that they're on the Street Fighter game? They're giving you a new level that has them putting the Cybertruck.
The Cybertruck. That I don't know how. You know what? I don't know how they did it. But yes, that is true. That the bonus. It's
easy how they did it. They got a normal truck and turned the slider all the way down to low.
True.
It is just a low resolution vehicle. It looks like all of the graphical issues they had with Battlefield 2042. When you're like, the textures are gonna load in now, right?
It looks like how Ronaldo looks in the new Fatal Fury game.
Pretty much.
Oh my god!
But yeah, they said they got tired of Grum's crap. They were tired of Elon's crap. They've been going in on everybody. I know Ubisoft got sold or compounded recently. Maybe once that deal went through, they're just like, all right, do what you want.
Pretty much.
No. They were contingent on this game not doing what was going to be if they got sold or not.
Right.
So they did or did not?
Saved them.
Okay, because I see people saying like, "Oh, Ubisoft got sold, so they're saved now." Or I can't tell who's right about what anymore.
These days, people are trying to sell themselves. That's a whole other story. But Joe, Super Robot Wars. Why? Anything you want to say about this trailer, sir, before I play
it? Tactic robot game, which is super fun, and you get to enjoy a lot of robots from your childhood if you're a kid from the 70s and 80s.
Oh, so it's like Jump Force with mechs.
No, it's a tactics game.
Oh, okay.
What you're thinking of is Iron Saga, which we forgot to get the trailer for.
That too. We'll have to catch that one here. But anyway, here's the trailer.
Peggy 16.
This was in the Japanese direct.
Okay.
俺のオーラ力を受けてみろ。力押しなら負けはしない。はあ、オーラ切り。ガンダムファイトでなくともやることは一つ。バーカネツゴッドスラッシュ。そこだ。これで決まりだ。ウルガルの野望は僕たちが打ち砕く。突破してみせる。もらった。逃がしはしない。
いいぞルルーシュ。さよなら。
想定以上のダメージか。容赦ないだ。感じるぜ風を。ミサイルいけー。んじゃ追っ始めるとするか。こいつをぶち込む。裏へゲッタービーム。
守ってばかりじゃなくて攻めないと。その位置ならライフルで。
総流が逃さん。来い雷雲。
All right, so that was the trailer for Super Robot Wars Y, coming soon in 2025 to the Switch, to the PS5, and to Steam. There were a few mechs I did recognize, but I would probably give that a shot. But how do y'all feel about it?
So what is it? Just super mech crossover? Because I saw Gundam, I saw Code Geass, and I'm sure
Pretty
a couple
much.
others.
Okay.
They also cross over with Ultraman too.
Okay.
I'm sold. Yeah, I'm sold.
I got the.
That's all I need to hear.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is. But I am definitely down for it because I saw G Gundam, of course. The Witch from Mercury was always fun. But yeah, and Joe probably went to go find. Either Joe has got one or he's found something. But no, it does look pretty cool though. I will say that. But yeah, Joe really went to go.
When they showed Macross, I was like, ooh.
Yeah. They showed Macross, G Gundam. They showed Battler. Wow, that took me back. That took me back on some steps. But But while Joe's looking for something, what else was I going to say? So, shite, I forgot the words I was going to say. Oh, there he is. What'd you find, Joe?
The last one that came out, Super Robot Wars 30th Anniversary.
Okay. I thought you were going to come back with
Gundam, Magic Knight Ready Earth, Combattler V, Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
Wow.
That
takes me back.
The actual Japanese version. Whatchamacallit.
Still,
a couple of the Super Brave Robot series where they combine into bigger robots.
Nice.
But they're like the living robots.
Okay. Well, still, I do want to look forward to playing Y, though. But I know we had some information on MechWarrior 5 Clans, newest DLC, Joe. Ghost Bear just never sounds right. But again, it is what it is. But
you
we do have
leave Space Polish alone.
Ghost Bear? I mean, I'm leaving that one alone because it sounds like it sounds like a Red Guardian story that's never been told. But,
okay, think about this. Remember this. They are basically the Viking versions of the clans.
Fair. But speaking of those clans, we do have an update on the release date for Ghost Bear. It will be out May 7th at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which you can still get on Steam. Outside that, there are free updates as far as that goes, guys. They said that it looks like it'll be a mech usability overhaul, progression and balance pass, battle grade improvements, gamepad options, Trials of War is now fully integrated, and the option for friendly fire, of course, with performance and stability and those other things. But Joe, outside that, is there anything else that we should know about this upcoming DLC and its updates?
You can watch me stream it and headshot and kneecap people the entire game. And then send my little toad units onto them. You see them beside this Kodiak right here. The elemental units that you can command through your D-pad to either hinder or get salvage opposing mechs. I'll be doing it. It's a full campaign expansion. They did say there's going to be a full 12 mission expansion. Its own storyline. I'm hoping this does one up to where they'll move beyond Ghost Bear and we get Clan Wolf and Clan Jade Falcon.
Nice. Although to see Joe on Joe Italian last name, kneecapping and headshotting folks, is there cross audio when you hit them, or is it just single audio?
What do you mean?
You can't talk to the opposing people?
No, that's like in campaign. You got to jump through some hoops to play people. That's their only downside is their Trials of the multiplayer Trials expansion is not great for PvP. And I keep asking them when they're adding matchmaking lobbies for PvP because that's the one thing they need. Other than that, I just hang out in horde mode.
Gotcha.
And last as long as I can.
Okay. Well, still, I might give that a shot. Just when I have to get through the backlog, but I'll definitely give it a shot. But speaking of things that you should give a shot, Doctor Who, season 2 with Mr. Nagati. Damn it, I have mispronounced this. I am so sorry, sir. I am terrible. I should be better pronouncing names. I fully apologize. But anyway, the season 2 trailer.
Before we get to this, did you see that he was on Jimmy Fallon?
No, I missed it.
What did he do?
We learned that while he was shooting Barbie, it got announced that he was Doctor Who, and then Ryan Gosling has a T-shirt of him as the Doctor, and that they proved that he whips out his phone and proves that his screensaver is Ryan Gosling wearing the shoot he got Doctor Who shirt.
That's how you know you made it in life. When you have Ryan Gosling fanboying you, that's impressive shit.
And that Ryan Gosling is a giant Whovian.
Hey, Dominic Toretto is a big Dungeons and Dragons, is a dungeon master.
But Ryan Gosling isn't about to make a box office bomb off his own D&D character.
Although Fast X was still fun to watch, but that was pretty much because of Jason Momoa. But anyway, the trailer for Doctor
This
Who
is true.
season
This
2.
is
No, I meant the
very
last
true.
Witch Hunter.
Oh, dear God, that movie. Never mind.
That was his D&D character.
His D. Oh dear God. Anyway, season 2 Doctor Who trailer. I cannot believe that was his actual D&D character.
I am the last of the Time Lords. I'm from a different planet. An evolved life form. And I have waited for the day of your arrival. I'm the doctor.
Doctor what?
Just the doctor.
All right then. I'm called the nurse.
Good team. You left Earth.
It's been 2
It
hours.
was 6 months ago. This should get you back. It is bigger on the inside than the outside.
You need to get me home.
You don't need to rush, because...
This is a time machine.
Boom. 1952. 51st century.
The 803rd Interstellar Song Contest!
Oh, we're so staying.
We're staying.
What year is this?
2007.
Can't you get this box of yours fixed? Have you ever heard of the planet Earth? Never heard of them. My parents are back home. Are they safe?
I hope so.
Ta-da!
What? Roll up.
Doctor, what are you doing?
I think we're being animated.
Gosh, I'm all flat. And this waistline is impossible.
I will not fail you. Everything is out of sync. Our entire reality is in danger. I promised that I would keep you safe.
But you can't promise.
I can. I will. I do.
And that was the season 2 trailer for Doctor Who. Chris, I know I said this on Blurred's Eye View, and I will say it again. Phil Collins, your musical library, sir, is financially sound.
Yeah.
Because my God, for it to be on 2 hit shows in the same year, sir, your musical library is covered between Paradise and Home. And for all those kids, yes, there was a Phil Collins. Yes, Genesis was an actual group and not just a Sega name. And yes, he's also the same guy that carried Tarzan on his back. Don't believe me? Go back and watch the animated Tarzan. All those songs, him. But
there's only two musical artists that will carry a movie on their back. Phil Collins and Prince.
Pretty much. But fellas, I know we all seen scenes of Doctor Who. The previous season was good. Of course, this season, because of how the BBC does stuff, I think we might get another season of him as the Doctor before he has his next change. But are we looking forward to the next season as far as them push the envelope?
Yes.
Very much. This is like the first time they're doing like animation in the actual like canon Doctor world.
Yes.
50-50, because David Tennant had a couple animated films that may or may not be canon.
Oh yeah. As far as those, yeah. But I think as far as like the main line,
yeah,
I guess you could say, yeah.
I mean, we'll learn in 2 weeks. It starts up in
it starts up in April.
I will say that Ncuti Gatwa and David Tennant, in my opinion, have played the Doctor, even in his short term so far, the most emotional.
Yes.
The most emotional. Just the way they carry that burden of really not wanting to let that dark half, I guess you could say, out.
Although
you mean the Capaldi?
Although honorable mention to Capaldi, because he went some places. The Doctor.
He was more like, You don't believe me? Watch. He was like, that was Capaldi's move. He was like, you don't believe me? Okay.
Although Neil Patrick Harris as the games master, still love him. Still love that role. Although the master will always be whether it's Missy or whether it's the master or Missy. Jesus, those roles still played well. Tafara, how about you?
I might check it out. Like I said, most of my Doctor knowledge comes from y'all. Browse the last couple Doctor things they've put out, but this seems interesting enough. I feel like they're doing a good job of making it to where anybody can kind of just jump in if they want to. Whereas you don't need all the backstory, but it's cooler if you have it. So I'll give this a watch.
When they do something that has like a recall value, it's really not even so convoluted that you don't know. Like they make it easy. We're like, oh, okay, this person, what was it? It was when it was Tenet and before they got to Shuti, when it was that episode they were doing, there were characters that were replaying older characters from years ago, and they go quick as to saying, oh, you're such and such, or this is such and such. And you're like, oh, okay, all right. And it makes you invested to say, I wonder if I can check that particular doctor's run out.
Right.
And see what's going on. But it's not so much like I need to go find out. It's more like you want to go find out.
Pretty much. But yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to watch. And also on Disney Plus or BBC, if you haven't, you can definitely go back and watch all episodes of Doctor Who. Or, be like us and get the physical copies. I'm just saying, you're going to miss them when they're gone. So, last show before we get to episodes 5 and 6 of Daredevil Born Again. Andor, which again, I'm going to sit there and say it. I've kind of fallen off on Andor. I haven't really caught up to it. The fact that they're actually about to start their final season on April 22nd. But if you haven't seen the trailer, here it is.
I came with you to be part of something. The Empire cannot win. It's a different kind of mission. If it goes up in flames, it will burn very brightly.
But if I'm giving up everything, I want to win. We have to. We must stand together. We will be crushed.
Resistance is absurd.
It's a weapon. They're building a weapon. The monster will come for us all.
Revolution is not for the saying. You're right here, and you're ready to fight. There's a future here for those who dare.
Welcome to the rebellion.
Imperial Strikes Back.
Hold on, because gentlemen, that was the trailer for final season of Andor, and we do have a student that has questions. Chad,
when was the Death Star created?
That as far as year,
like,
or as far as
movie wise.
They were working on it in episode 3, which is why Anakin kills the bad guys. If you notice, when he goes and kills the bug people and steals the hologram is the Death Star.
Yeah.
So
very much
he took other people's work and called it his own. Sounds familiar.
I was gonna say he must it. It was there. He must it. He must it. But yes, Chad, to answer your question, it starts off in Revenge of the Sith and then comes in A New Hope. So Andor falls in between that. So what you're actually seeing is the beginning of the Resistance leading into the Rogue One movie. And that's where Andor is all about. So what happens on Andor actually leads to Rogue One, which leads to A New Hope, and then goes from there. But outside of that, I'm going to admit it. I have not given Andor the watch it should have been getting after the first season. We have said on Blurred's Eye View, and I've also said it on here. Star Wars has had a lot of successful shows that did not evolve around the Jedi or the Sith, and Andor is one of them. Again, I should go back. I will go back and give it a faithful watch all the way up to current, and we'll be watching the final season. But fellas, how we feeling? Because this is pretty much going to be the point to where this goes into the Rogue One story. Are we worried that they might rush it, or are they going to take their time with it, or what do you guys think?
It seems like they've at least got the action scenes down packed, because that was, I don't know, there was a lot going on in that trailer battle wise versus the first one. So
by the time they got to the last 3 episodes of the first season, they're starting to ramp up. Yep. It was a lot of setup. It was a lot of setup in that first season. But yeah, this one, I'll just go on record of saying I will always be a brown coat, I will always be a pirate, and I will always be a rebel. Especially in today's age.
Still may have been on the opposite side, but never question if it was the wrong side.
Right.
Oh, good old Firefly. Still love that part. Still love that part when Malcolm said that. Joe, what about you?
Hopefully it's better than the first half of the first season, because I quit right before he went to prison.
Okay, well, thanks for your. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I
don't like the actor. He's boring. He sounds like he's bored. I don't care about Mon Mothma or her daughter or her never really their husband.
Okay.
That's the never really their husband. He's really not really there.
Better, but there's a reason they teamed this dude up with Alan Tudyk robot. And if he doesn't team up with Alan Tudyk robot in this season quick, I'm going to shut it off as quickly as I did season 1.
I will say in that first season, there's an episode when Andor has to go back home.
Yeah.
And because his mother's gone. And but the impact that his mother has on that planet or that particular town, and how they rise up, and it kind of, like I said, it makes you look at things in a viewpoint where you're just like, how could they be so blind? Anyway, but it's a moment. It's a definite moment where they just say, fight, just fight.
Yeah, that's what makes you have to go back. That's why I said I want to start back from episode 1 on Andor and really give it a watch. Tafara, what about you?
I'm either going to start Andor and then go into this weekly if it may be something we talk about. If not, I might let it finish and then binge the entire show along with Rogue One to finish. I haven't decided yet.
But again, like we said on other shows on this show, Star Wars actually did do decent movies. Rogue One was good. Solo was good. Solo was really a good movie. As Chris has said on Blurred's Eye View, it was just timing. Timing and marketing is why the movie didn't do as well as it should have done. Because these side stories outside of the main story of Star Wars could all be great. Although I'm still waiting on the Darth Maul story, because again, there's or Darth Revan, or there's 20 different character stories that can be told, and not just the story
was told.
Well, I'm talking about as a movie standpoint. Like, you do it from a movie standpoint, or you can do it from a series standpoint. Although it is in books, and then
we did do it in the series
too. I'm sorry, what?
We did do it in the series. It's the latter half of Clone Wars and the
well, that's what I'm saying.
In the third season of Rebels.
That's what I'm getting at. That's the part where I'm getting at, where it was told in Rebels, but do not get me wrong, Rebels is a great show, but there is an opportunity for shows like The Mandalorian, which that show by itself, I will arguably say, probably kept Star Wars going. If it wasn't for The Mandalorian, I'm going to be honest. I'm gonna stay on this hill as I say this. If it wasn't for Mandalorian, we would not have Kenobi. We would not have Kenobi. We would not have the Acolyte. We would not have the Book of Boba Fett, or otherwise known as Mandalorian 2.5. We wouldn't have any of that. We would not have, or I should say, Dave Filoni would not be in the position that he's in right now if it wasn't for the success of The Mandalorian. So by that logic, you should be able to take other characters that you have introduced in Rebels or you introduced in the Clone Wars, and either explain their stories in a series or just do a movie. Because we've seen what happens that when you do take risk outside of it not being a Jedi or a Sith story, folks are going to be, there are some folks that are going to be turned away. But again, that just tells you who are Star Wars fans and who are not. Because if you're expecting everything to be a Jedi story or a Sith story, are you really a Star Wars fan? Because there's plenty of characters out there that aren't affiliated with the Force that people still love. So that's the part I'm getting at, that you can tell stories like Andor. You can tell stories like Kenobi, although I really would want to know the conversation between him and Qui-Gon in the desert. He was in the desert for 10 plus years getting trained by Qui-Gon. I would like to know the story. Or
you just want to know how his adventures of babysitting went.
I do, and I would be completely okay with that because I want to know. I also want to know where Mace Windu has been this entire time because he ain't dead. He's not dead. We never saw him.
Not dead.
Enthusiasm, but to quote Family Guy, I says you he dead.
Until
I say you he dead. The Colonel. I say the hell wrong with you? I say you he dead. Terrible. It is terrible when you move up north and you watch that scene in King of the Hill with other people and you realize you're the only one in the room who understands that. And then you realize, right, not everyone does. Boomhauer's talking and they're just like, oh, that's such gibberish. I'm like, y'all, that doesn't translate.
We need to talk to Lucas and Filoni.
Right.
Flat out. Talk to Lucas and Filoni. I would like to say he ain't dead.
Mm-hmm. He ain't dead.
Sam Jackson says he ain't dead.
And how many times
he's about as alive as there is the Great Jedi, which there's no such thing.
If you could bring back, I was gonna say Weatherface, but if you could bring back if you could bring him back for the remainder of the Rey series, you can bring back Windu. They both all fell.
We know he's going to die later. We know that. We just need to know what happened in between this point in time and this point in time. That story.
He fell through a portal, became Nick Fury, and then became a cat dad.
All I need is that.
Look, here's what really happened to Mace Windu. He found an abandoned lot of loth cats and is now raising them as his own kids. Mace Windu cat dad.
I can't do that ending. That man deserves retribution. But what I'm getting at here, guys, is just that with Andor and other things, give it a shot. Let us know what you think. And pretty much let's again, the fandom is there. And also, don't forget the books. Lady Mandalore, who is probably resting right now, and I hope she is, would skin me alive if I don't point out the fact that please read the books. There's so much lore. There's so much more storytelling in the Star Wars books, and you would be remiss not to actually dive in, because if anybody knows Star Wars, especially Mandalorians, it definitely is her. But again, she would skin me alive if I didn't say that. So I'm doing this for posterity.
If Star Wars really wanted to make money, they'd make a Thrawn series that chronicles how he got to that part of the galaxy.
Yes, and it would work.
Mm-hmm.
It would. It would work.
Work Star Killer into the dang canon. Just season 2 of Ahsoka. Hey, you were a worthy apprentice. You just weren't the only one. Have him locked in a cage somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly they're working, and I don't know if this is a rumor or an unfounded thing or a fan thing, but supposedly they're getting Abeloth from the last of the old school Jedi arcs to be in season 2 of Ahsoka.
I'll be fine with that.
And Kyle Katarn, I feel like with all these bandit shows, could be making an appearance too, because they've worked him in and out of the canon like 3 other times. He had like a PS1 game, I think that was like a 2D shooter. Then Jedi Outcast came out. I didn't play the first Jedi Knight, but Jedi Knight 2 was also great.
Yeah.
In the books, he has one of the best lightsaber evers because his extends and becomes a great sword, basically.
Yeah. but still, shout out to Ray Stevenson. Jesus, may you rest in peace for the role that you did.
Boy, the roles he was taking on.
Mhm.
That last round, he was on a tear, and
really was. But still, like I said, Star Wars floating. You got the keys to the kingdom, sir. Make it work. But before we get to our comic book pulls, we do got to talk about the meat and potatoes of this week. That we did get served 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. Before I do start, guys, we do go into full details about episode 5 and 6. If you have not seen Daredevil Born Again and you still want to know unsurprised and unspoiled, now would be a good time to mute us and come back to us in a few minutes, or watch it and give us your opinions. That being said, we're going to go into episode 5 first, because this was an interesting episode. The fact that we did get a crossover from Miss Marvel as far as her father, Yusuf, being the branch manager, and that the episode really did take place really around the bank itself, and Matt actually still trying to secure funds for his firm. Mr. Yusuf does kind of turn Matt down, saying you guys are not really profitable. This turns into the fact that the bank was actually getting robbed, to where Matt finds himself basically being Daredevil without the suit. Basically taking on the robbers, getting Mr. Yusuf involved, to where Yusuf is not simply going, you're not just a regular blind lawyer, which he comes to find out. Also, the cool part in the hallway scene where Matt's trying to take the guy down silently, and you see the shotgun just drop down, and yet he somehow times it to where he catches it and it basically muffs the sound, which also thought was pretty cool. Also, at the same time, you're with your heightened senses, you can actually pick a lock of a bank. And I'm just wondering, why haven't you went into a different line of work? That's all I'm saying. This does eventually lead to where the diamond, to which they do find out that the bank robbers are after, to which Matt does keep safe, also takes down the bank robbers, who don't understand that police are coming in by force. At the same time, after he does thwart the robbers, the diamond is still somewhat missing, as he talks to Mr. Yusuf and says, maybe you should come to my home, enjoy dinner, and you get to meet my famous daughter, into which he does return the diamond, basically without saying so many words, to Mr. Yusuf. And again, because we are getting introduced to Camilla's father, he does say that his daughter is on the West Coast on some business, which again, if you guys do remember from Miss Marvel, from the Marvels, we do see that Kamala did go to visit Kate Bishop, and of course says that I'm putting a team together. So at the end of episode 5, it was a very nice episode. We did get a common link to that might be the West Coast Avengers that are forming. But fellas, what do we think of episode 5?
I never want to get my leg broken like that ever.
Did we get information, or did he just did he do the morning routine 4-minute in the air kick and then just leave him there?
I mean, that was brutal is what that was. But that leg ain't never gonna be right again. But I'm sorry, Tafar. I completely went off base. What was your question again?
But my main thing, I was being funny, but my main thing was do we know if the diamond or whatever had any significance, or was that just a plot device for robbing this bank because reasons?
That's a good question. I thought it was a plot device because I kept looking at the diamond what's so special about this thing?
Yeah, who is it that you're working for to get this?
Right.
That's how I had to look at it. Because there was no other information outside of the boss. That's who's the boss.
Right. That was the main thing. Yeah, that was the main thing I took from it. Who's the person behind the curtain that you guys are all working for? Because outside
the dude had a key, so it wasn't like they were breaking in. It was so you had a key.
Right.
So
Tombstone?
Who's the boss?
That is the fair question, because that's the thing I would bring up. But again, that's just me. But Joe, Tafari, Chris, what else you got?
I'm trying to think. It's very much setting up. This could set up everybody to go be on some West Coast Avenger business.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure where this is in the timeline. Actually, no, this is definitely after She-Hulk.
Yeah.
But could set up Matt to be going back and forth between those two areas and then bringing friends with him, which could be where they are when whatever happens with Doomsday, or this could set up everyone to be away from New York when Sentry gets done doing God knows what. Because curious to see how they undo that, or what that turns into.
So here's my theory on that. I can see that working, and I can also see it like Matt saying, I can't do shit with that. I can't do nothing with that.
Although the whole thing is just, that's why I was saying the whole thing with that is like, number one, the boss, the mystery guy, and the fact that Yusuf has not put two and two together. Like,
He's so oblivious. He's so oblivious.
It's comically oblivious, but I'm like, sir, your daughter is an inhuman and a superhero, and you don't look for signs that a blind person can just immediately fight or walk around normally. That's like, it's almost as if he's not paying attention. It's like, you can't be this oblivious, sir. Or is it like, I see
he's already, you see how much he fawns over. Before it was the son he was fawning over. Now it's the daughter. Now it's the daughter.
I think they're technically gonna make Kamala a mutant this time around, because I think that's what her creator wanted. She just did not want her falling into the realm of the dangerous folks over at Fox.
Right. Yeah, that part. But Joe, what did you think of episode 5?
What are you guys talking about? This week was episode 6.
No, it was 5.
It was 5 and 6.
Oh, I only watched 6 because that was in the latest one that said up next. I'm like, what is everybody talking about?
They gave us a double for this week.
Yeah, they gave us a double episode this week.
Oh, I had no idea. I'm like looking over on my phone.
Joe had the most.
The Daredevil, the action you wanted is in 6.
I love it though.
The action you wanted is in 6. The world building is in 5.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't watch episode 5. I watched episode 6 because I'm like, what bank robbery?
It was the honest confusion. He was like, "What are they talking?"
I thought he was being funny.
I was wondering why you were staring at me like you did have to look at your face like, "What are you talking about?"
Like, what episode did you guys watch? I watched the crap out of Muse and Kingpin finally lose his crap, and I'm like, what does that happen to this episode?
Well, well, we can go ahead and go. Well, with that being said, we can go on episode 6, where again, as Tafara put it, all the action went. We do actually get to see Muse at work again, picking up new victims, even going to the point to where he's doing the full-on draining of the blood, the whole rigmarole. We also see the
powers.
Huh? No, yeah, that part
would be weird.
Yeah, that part. That's part I'm gonna get to momentarily. We do see the Kingpin, of course, being the mayor, and the fact that he is now being shown about Muse, and the fact, well, not Muse, but the fact that these people are being murdered and missing, and no one's actually doing anything about it. Which we do see on the BB report that it's also being used. After he sat there and said if he was shown this in the SUV, we could use this, to where it does lead to him putting up his own anti-vigilante task force. A special name was actually said, Detective Cole, which again, please keep that in mind. That is a part of the Daredevil world that you should definitely know about. The fact that he is being included in this vigilante task force was interesting. And the fact that these people are basically walking around in vests, no body cameras, and special privileges. We also find out that the sister of White Tiger does come up missing, to where Matt finally decides to pull a John Wick and open up the safe. And we do see him come out in the suit looking for her. He eventually track down Muse. It's a pretty interesting fight. But as Joe pointed out, there didn't seem to be a lot of abilities on Muse's side. Of course, for all those that don't know, Muse is kind of kryptonite to Matt, in the fact that he can mask himself blind to all of Matt's senses, including his heartbeat. The fact that it really wasn't shown in this fight either says that he hasn't really either gotten those abilities, or he's basically pulling a feint. Don't know. But Matt does wind up saving the sister. At the same time, we also see the beginnings of the task force with I'm sorry, during the same fight scene, because there's dual fight scenes. I'm missing that. I apologize. Dual fight scenes between Muse and Murdoch. Also, the Kingpin decides, Wilson Fisk decides to go up to Adam and say, "I'm going to give you a fighting chance," and throws this man an axe, which doesn't do spit because Kingpin decides to go ahead and beat the brakes off this man, decides to throw this man through a wall, and yet somehow, some way, Adam is still alive. I don't know who's the superhuman here, Muse or Adam.
Frank caught a beating from Kingpin too, so Frank was probably somewhere like, yeah, I caught that ass whooping before. I know exactly what that feels like.
He's been getting it on the regular though is the problem. So that dude is he's practicing restraint, I guess. I don't know.
But that's the crazy part. Kingpin, and you can see, and I love the fact of how they did this. I love the fact that not only with the heartbeat sound in the background, but the duality between Matt beating the brakes off Muse, Wilson beating the brakes off Adam is the same rage. It is the same outlet. You literally see them both screaming. It's a great scene. So at the same time, Kingpin, once he has his fill, throws Adam back into the cage. Muse has disappeared, and we now have, as it ends, with Matt saving White Tiger's sister. So, how do we feel about episode 6?
I loved it. You kind of hit it on the head with the whole Kingpin and Daredevil narrative, because even Matt was fighting, putting that mask on, but when I think her name's Ayala.
Yeah,
I think
that's the name I'm looking for. Yeah.
When she didn't answer the phone, he was just like, screw it. It's like this was the excuse you needed to put the cowl and suit back on, right, and you do your thing. But like you said, that duality between him and Kingpin, you see it. It's such a good build-up. Mm-hmm. That's why when Joe was mentioning earlier, I said, I know they reshot this show. I know they had to re-edit it, but the way they spliced everything together and for it to come out the way it did, no notes. Yeah. You still made it work. You still made this work. And this is this is really good writing. And the build up between these two and these darker halves, mm-hmm, and just how they're handling their supposed darker halves. Yeah. Old boy, what was the old boy's name that was in his office, in Fisk's office? What was his name? Was it Luca? Was that Luca? No, that wasn't Luca. That was Luca. Guy? Yeah, that was Luca.
Yeah, that was Luca. That's
one of the Owls people.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, this dude is talking really reckless. Mm-hmm. He's like 1.8, and then he starts talking reckless again. He said 2.8 and give 1.8 who you supposed to give to. Give me the one and give me the difference. And he's walking up to him. He puts the pen on him. I'm like, you lucky this is broad daylight. He's in his office.
And Yotel could have been taken care of on the spot. And the restraint that he had was like, I almost want to say is that the other millions for the disrespect.
Yeah,
that's what I thought he was gonna say. Like, but again, it's crazy that he goes to Vanessa and says, "Well, I told him he now owes 2.8 million, and it's gonna go here and there." So, Tafari, Joe, what do you guys think?
Curious if the task force actually does something, or if they are just cannon fodder for something else that's on the way.
Oh, a little bit of both.
Yeah, and Muse with the paintings. It's weird that we have a villain with street cred to where people will just walk up on you in broad daylight and ask for pictures. Like, okay, I guess. Like, do they know about the paintings, or do they also know he's kidnapping people? Because it's like, why would you go and ask, and then you both end up victims like immediately?
And also, Kingpin has found out that the paintings are comprised of blood. So I meant to say a little fact, but I'm sorry, Tafar, go ahead.
No, that's it. I'm just like, why does this crazy man have notoriety to where people will just walk up on him? Like, do they not know he's also kidnapping people and making blood splatter paintings?
No,
Also,
it's not getting around.
Right.
It ain't getting around, and they just know, oh, he's another tag artist in the city. That's all. That's what they know.
And then Swordsman making his way back from
that was
whatever show he was in. Was it in Hawkeye?
Yep, Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye.
Yeah, okay. Swordsman coming back from Hawkeye too.
Because it just adds up to a lot of things. But Joe, what's your opinion?
Well, yeah, I mean, Swordsman is Clint's brother, so maybe that means we'll get to see Hawkeye in this series at some point. No, I really enjoyed this episode since it's the one I actually watched this week.
It's all right, Joe.
I had no idea.
It's all right.
Like, here's what's next.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still wondering why Muse didn't use some of his other powers, because he is able to cling to walls too.
Right.
Kind of like Spider-Man. So, yeah.
That's what I thought was odd, that Muse's powers weren't, that he didn't really, either he didn't induce them, or it's like, are we just waiting, or is it just like a feint? That's all.
I think in this instance, this is one of them situations where I don't think they want to make him a mutant, you know, for the sake of like, he's just making him a serial killer, you know, for so many reasons, right? Just for so many reasons. We see what Marvel and Disney have been doing, and certain narratives have to change. They just have to change.
Yeah.
Like, and I can't bring up the Ultron situation enough. The fact that in comics, Hank Pym is the one that created Ultron, but in the movies, it makes sense that Tony Stark be the one to do it. It just makes literary sense in both, you know. But you know, as children, as we come up, we read this stuff, and we just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
But for it to actually make sense on screen, you know, so they're just like, hey, we're slowly introducing mutants. I'm just putting out theories. We're slowly introducing mutants. We don't really necessarily need that character to be a mutant because it doesn't really go into what we are building. So we could just, I mean, he's a mutant. He just happens to be a serial killer. Let's make him a serial killer. Boom, done.
Yep. Well, with that being said, guys, this is episode 6. We do know that we get 3 more episodes before the end of this season. 3 episodes are left. Just around the room, guys. What are we possibly expecting within the next 3 episodes? What could possibly happen? Are we going to be seeing other characters, or are we going to be seeing a downfall? Would we be seeing a character's death outside of Foggy? Although Foggy, I don't believe is dead. But what do we think?
I think we're getting a lot of setup. Task Force over here. Frank trying to get rid of whatever is going on with the Punisher unit. I don't know if any of those plot points are going to cross-sect. Matt and Fisk giving into their darker halves. Maybe some cameos or more mentions of other characters, because Fisk at least acknowledges Spider-Man exists, because I know that's part of his rogues gallery, but a guy who knows if they'll ever meet.
Fair.
Or we could do like the end of The Boys last season. Everybody gets rounded up and Fisk grabs Jessica, Luke, and Danny.
That's also possible. What are you
He
going to
doesn't need to grab Danny. That's fine.
Joe finally got somebody else besides me.
What about the billionaire? Forget him. Just isn't he part of the? No.
Don't worry about him.
The girl with the sword.
Electra instead.
The girl with the sword in Electra's corpse. Leave him.
Yeah. The character of Cole North is by design in comics. He's a good cop that just made a bad decision.
Right.
And I see that happening in this show. He's already been marked, you know, so he's kind of stuck with the bad guys, you know, with the boys club, and with Frank being involved and everything else, I think that he will be Frank's inside man eventually. Once Frank realizes, this guy he's not like the rest of these cops. Yeah. The rest of these cops are rogues through and through, and they're just messed up. This guy, he just happened to make a mistake, and he's just been marked, and this is what it is. So he's kind of tagged, but he's trying to do the right thing.
Basically, he's gonna basically try to pull another Frank, but this Frank's gonna actually listen.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which, by the way, still masterclass in that episode. Jesus Christ.
Episode 4 was definitely good. I'm sorry, Tamara, what were you gonna say?
I didn't have anything else. Just I'm curious if the Punisher people and Frank and this task force cross connect, or is that going to be a bunch of separate stuff by itself?
Oh, no.
I know the Punisher's apparently getting his own Guardians-esque special too.
I think Frank is gonna show up again. I'm not saying it's gonna happen this season. I still think if it drags over to the anti-vigilante unit, I think that's where either Frank is either gonna make his appearance at the end of this season, or he's gonna make his appearance in the next season, because he's definitely not gonna let that slide.
No, yeah, they're going to cross paths.
Yeah,
Frank does not like that type of action
at all. Joe, what about you?
I want to do anything from the actual Born Again series, because they have not touched a single ounce of the Born Again storyline, despite using the Born Again moniker. Like anything, like have Matt's girlfriend turn out to be Typhoid Mary.
I'm still saying my guess is that's going to be next season.
Oh, with what is her name?
I keep forgetting, but I keep forgetting.
I keep saying I want to start with a K, but I could be wrong.
Like, I realize she's here for at least a little bit. I keep forgetting her until she shows up in his apartment unannounced.
Yeah,
right. That's what makes. I'll be honest with you, Joe. I think that's going to happen in season 2. I think it's going to happen in the other 9 episodes, that we are going to see some elements from the Born Again storyline. We're actually seeing more elements from Devil's Reign, but you're right. They haven't really done anything.
There's a fine line between Back in Black and Devil's Reign, which in season 2 we get the Back in Black costume.
Yeah,
they've already shown that.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Now, for those photographers, don't show no more. Don't show no more. I want to be pleasantly surprised.
Right.
Show nothing.
That part. What else you got, Joe?
That's it.
Oh, okay. Well, guys, let us know what in the comments you think. Like we said, this is episode 6. 3 episodes left until the end of the first season. Although they will come back the other 9 episodes. Like, come on now. Do you honestly think Disney was going to give us 18 episodes?
Man, I wanted that so bad.
Disney sat there treating us like fiend addicts. Like, you get this, and you will wait, and you will have. I wanted
that. Oh God, I wanted that.
But with that being said, let us know in the comments what you think of the episodes 5 and 6 of Daredevil Born Again. That being said, we are going to go on and move on to our comic pulls. As we are doing that, we always want to show love to Rick's Comic City, Nashville's #1 go-to place for comic books, for memorabilia, for Funko Pops, you name it, they got it. Check out their locations, Nashville, Tennessee, and Clarksville, Tennessee, and also their website, rickscomiccity.com. Let the guys that Get Bit sent you. It doesn't get you any discounts, but when you go in there and you look up and see their TVs, you see our mugs on there. They show us love because we want to show them love. So definitely check out Rick's Comic City if you are in the Middle Tennessee area. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, guys, please support your local comic book stores. Support your local bookstores. Support your local libraries. Why? Because local libraries carry video games now. I did not know this. They carry the most up-to-date mangas, comic books, and video games. At the same time, guys, local comic book stores, local bookstores need our patronage. They need our attendance, and most importantly, they need our dollars. You want to keep these little institutions alive because, trust me, you will miss them when they are gone. So, Joe, I do see that you have your stuff up, so just give me 1 second here to see if it'll pull up. There we go. Let's see if it's going to show. Yes, no, maybe, possibly. Hopefully. I got it pulled up. Joe, still, is it up on your side? There we go. All right, sir. Yep. All yours.
We're looking at Absolute Wonder Woman #6. This is written by Kelly Thompson and art by Mattia De Iluis. The long and short of this one is this version, Diana, has a very lovely conversation with Hades, Lord of the Underworld.
The most pleasant conversation you could ever have with a deity that was still pissed about the fact that you can't pick up none of your weapons.
And that you left the underworld without his permission, and you shouldn't have been able to leave the underworld at all.
Pretty much. but still polite. But still somehow polite.
Great artwork, good storytelling. Absolutely, Wonder Woman continues to be the best of the original 3 Absolute books, in my opinion. And until Absolute Green Lantern will come out, is probably the best Absolute book overall.
Although Batman eating a kid, I'm still not over that.
They
But I'm sorry,
had
go
it
ahead.
They had it coming. They were stabbing him.
True, but again, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe. I can't get the scene out of my head.
Next up, we got Flash number 19. This is written by Cy Spurrier with art by Vasco Gort, Georgiev, and colors by Matt Herms. This is the penultimate issue to the Eclipso storyline that's finishing up next week. They free Eclipso, but he possesses another entity while the two Flashes try to merge into one, and the family is kind of caught in the middle. Good book, good art. Still interesting, kind of semi-cosmic storytelling that Cy Spurrier is known for, but still a little bit pulled back to make it a really good Flash adventure.
Agreed, but the dog didn't deserve it.
Yeah, the dog will be fine. Don't worry about the dog.
I'm having John Wick flashbacks, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We got Green Lantern number 21, Rise of the Starbreaker. This is written by Jeremy Adams with art by Jack Herbert and colors by Romulo Fernando Jr. Starbreaker gets what he needs to be able to access the emotional spectrum, while the Green Lanterns recoup and come to a big plan that they need to start building central power batteries for all the spectrums again. That way the energy will be focused and accessed by those who use it correctly rather than it just randomly being given to people that have enough of that spectrum in themselves. Kyle's super team, which he doesn't like it being called that, with the Han Solo blaster in his hand this time. Yeah, I caught that. Stumble upon, I want to say maybe Rip Hunter.
Yeah.
I don't know who they stumble upon, but I think it's Rip Hunter.
I'm pretty sure it's Rip Hunter.
That or Booster Gold. Well, no, it can't be Booster Gold. He's in the Absolute universe at the moment.
Yep.
It may be Rip Hunter. Meanwhile, Carol and Hal are dealing with the return of Hector Hammond in the DEA.
Interesting, though. Good issue, though.
Yeah, good issue. Great artwork. I love that Jeremy Adams continues to remember that Kyle Rayner exists. It's the only real reason I'm reading this, a lot of Green Lantern this time around. I just like that he gets equal opportunity after sitting out for so long.
Fair. Real quick, Joe, before you move on to the next one. Black Neo 5150. Would you think Wonder Woman is the DCL female GOAT? Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, so.
Harley
undeniably
sells more things, but Harley sells more stuff. But like in terms of like number one woman in DC, it still goes to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I agree. But
she takes care of business. Let's do that. She takes care of business.
She doesn't really have a rogues gallery.
No, exactly. Exactly.
She doesn't really have enemies.
But I feel like they fall back on Cheetah a lot, and that's like it.
I mean, combat.
Cheetah and I can't remember her name right now.
I mean, between her, Dr. Poison, I mean, she has other enemies, but like we said, they're not really sticking around for part 2 unless they come from the dead, and that's only happened
as Maxwell Lord.
Yeah, I'm about to say her greatest protagonist I think came back from the dead twice. So yeah, I say she's the GOAT. But I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
Spider-Man 70, The Amazing Spider-Knot. This is the finale of this sometimes Joe Kelly arc with Spider-Man. This is written by Joe Kelly with art by Ed McGuinness Inks by Mark Farmer and Cliff Rathburn, and colors by Alex Sinclair and Marcio Menez. Spider-Man becomes the Juggernaut in the name of the daughter of Sidorak to cleanse the thing of the blight. And the moral of this story is the demon of Sidorak can get his feelings hurt. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not okay. It's a nice ending. Maybe not the ending I would have pictured it to be. I kind of want to see Strange go to Doom and say, "I freaking told you so." But it's a good. I'll leave it as it is. It's probably the best ending we're gonna get for what they're wanting to do. So
Yes.
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Although Juggernaut giving sage advice, I did not see that coming.
You want to talk about someone who's active?
He has been the actor of Sidorak for longer.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say, Chris?
I was gonna say, talk about someone whose character arc over time has really progressed and to be considered family amongst the X-Men, even though he's not a mutant.
True.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I still have the whole thing of don't think, just act. Don't think, just run. Work for me. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
Next up, we got Thunderbolts Doomstrike #2. This is written by Jackson Langdon and Colin Kelly. Art by Tommaso Banchi and colors by Yen Nitro. Bucky is still leading a revolution against Doom's takeover of the planet, and the original she's got such a long name, that's not my fault. Contessa Fontaine, Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, the actual Contessa, comes back as Citizen V to try to fight Bucky. You think I'd be able to pronounce that name, considering I can pronounce Princess Angelina, Contessa Luisa Francesca, and Banana Fenifofesca III? But you can just call her Dot. Call her Dottie and you die. But no, that one trips me out every time. We get a World War II veteran who is now the current Ghost Rider because Marvel refuses to recognize Robbie Rodriguez exists anymore.
I hate that.
I do too.
I hate that.
Or anybody that's not Danny Ketch, even though they came back with his brother recently.
Mm-hmm.
It made him like a cyberpunk Ghost Rider or a Weapon X style Ghost Rider with green flames, which made him much cooler and more distinct. But yeah, so not too bad. Good book. Always support Thunderbolts. Always going to support Thunderbolts. Even John Walker's good in this, and that takes a lot.
He's likable in comics now.
Yeah. Next up, we got Fantastic Four versus Godzilla. This is an anthology series of different Marvel people teaming up either with Godzilla or to fight Godzilla. This is written by Ryan North with art by John Romita Jr., who actually does a good job in this book. Scott Hanna is the inker, and Marcio Menez is the colorist. What you see in the background of the first time Marvel got the rights to do Godzilla is the Avengers and Fantastic Four take him on the first time. This time he just comes to New York. We find out that Galactus has made King Ghidorah a new herald, and Silver Surfer uses all of his abilities to the point where he becomes Norrin Rad to bestow the power cosmic onto Godzilla. And the Fantastic Four both fight Godzilla and assist Godzilla in this issue. Super fun. Like I said, this is going to be an anthology series. I think it's either Spider-Man or the X-Men are going to be fighting Godzilla next in this anthology.
So are they just tossing Godzilla to like every superhero? Because wasn't it Superman in the Justice League before?
Yeah.
Like recently?
But this is kind of like the Showa era Friend of Humanity kind of Godzilla in terms of design.
Okay.
This is not the Legendary Monsters version. This is the old school Godzilla. This is like old school Godzilla.
All right.
Fun book. My favorite book this week, Ultimate Spider-Man, written by Jonathan Hickman, guest art by David Messina, colors by Matt Wilson. Now that Pete's family is in immediate danger, they are living somewhere, I want to say maybe Nevada, in a camp trailer. Pete and Richard are teaching. Pete's teaching Richard how to be a proper Spider-Man and rules, and they are attacked by Sandman, but things don't exactly go as they normally do. Great issue, love everything. Meanwhile, Wilson Fisk, in order to figure out who Ben Reilly is, apparently has killed every Ben Reilly in the world.
Yep. Level
Or
of
so
petty.
he says to shake Ben and Jonah.
Although it is interesting that the fact that Fisk basically said, we're going to take out every Ben Reilly while Harry is dead. And at the same time, Venom and the Venom symbiote and Peter have an understanding about Peter's son. That is still funny to me.
I still like the things like the rules. Yes, we know. Don't touch MJ. No. New rules for when he fights.
That part was funny. But no, it was a good issue.
Next up, we got Laura Kenny Wolverine number 4. This is Erica Schultz writing with Gadia Belviso doing art and Rachel Rosenberg doing colors. Laura goes on a road trip with Bucky to fight something. We all know what's going to happen there.
Although this was the team up I never expected I would actually like. That she actually does find a little bit of solace with Bucky. I just thought that was interesting.
I mean, they're both children of war.
Yeah.
Children of fate, children of horrible childhoods.
True.
One was a prostitute, one was blown up and rebuilt by a cosmic cube. It all tracks.
Yeah, true.
Moving on, we got X-Men Omega. God, this was such BS.
I kind of wonder what was your opinion on this one.
This is Murewa Adeoli and Gail Simone writing it. Art by Glev, Mel Nikonov, Frederica Mancina, and Enid Balam, with colors by Brian Reber. Charles wants to go away, so basically this entire thing is just to retire the Charles Xavier character and make the majority of the X-Men not act like who they are, including Storm, who, as we all remember from Krakoa, is no longer Charles's friend and wants nothing to do with the man, but is willing to give a tearful goodbye as he leaves. I'm like, no.
Imagine that this entire manhunt led to the fact that we're just basically giving Charles a send-off into his own story. Really? So you leave the X-Men in disarray. Cyclops and Rogue will never see eye to eye again for a little while.
They get better at the end of the issue. It's just Cyclops like having a panic attack and come apart because he wants this man in prison for stuff he knows he did, and Charles is like, no, all of it was fabricated. Like, bull. This is the worst retcon. This is the worst writing to retcon ever. Like, half these people don't even act this way.
But my whole thing is, you took great premise like Manhunt, you put it across what, 5 different lines, and
5 different lines and 7 issues.
And this was the ending that you came up with? I'm just saying, there's better ways.
They poochied Xavier. I must go now. My planet needs me.
Pretty much.
This goes into Krakoa and the Storm series that's going on right now, or no?
This is the fallout from the Krakoa era and a little bit of the Storm series, but
because I know Ayodele is writing the Storm series as well, so I was curious how the crossover for that worked.
I mean, it worked for a second.
Stop her story and focus entirely on this.
Yeah, because all it basically did was for the Storm series, it was just that moment of Professor X coming to Storm needing help, and she helped him. That was pretty much. That was
even
pretty
though it
much
makes no sense.
Yeah. Still different though, but yeah, that was the whole thing with that.
And then wrapping up, we got Power Rangers Prime #5, written by Melissa Flores, art by Michael Ying, colors by Fabian Marquez. This new team of Power Rangers fights the VR Troopers, and there is definitely some fallout. Apparently, the Blue Ranger is based on a unicorn, and the Black Ranger is a snake, and I have no idea what the Yellow Ranger is. And we got the Pink Ranger, and we get a little bit of backstory for everybody and more stuff with Rita and Bulk. God, I love Rita and Bulk in this series. Like that was one of those they were always meant to be together, kind of like leader and henchman duo. You just don't think about.
Interesting. I'm gonna be honest. This issue I couldn't really get to this week, so I'm gonna have to lean on you for this one.
Yeah. We also learned the Yellow Ranger was dating Matt, the main VR trooper.
I guess they're gonna find a way to include them in here some way, somehow.
I mean, they're getting their own book in June, so
that is still going to be interesting.
They've also got a brand new series coming out, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
in June.
Somebody is actually taking another shot at VR Troopers. I'm not against that. It'll just be interesting because now it's not under Saban anymore.
White Ranger is and always will be better than the Green.
Say it one more time, Joe.
Well, I'm reading a comment from Black Neo that says the White Ranger is and always will be better than Green Ranger.
Oh.
I mean, they're the same person, so
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you are right. They're kind of the same Ranger, but hey, to each their own, I guess.
I mean, Sentai wise, no, I'll always take Barai over Dai. So no, not really Sentai wise, but Power Rangers wise, they're both Tommies. So,
that part just it's one of those. All right, man, baby, that's what you feel, sir. Can't knock you for it.
No, like I said, this is good, but like definitely book of the week. Probably a toss between Ultimate Spider-Man and Absolute Wonder Woman. Like those two just knock it out of the park.
Look, Hickman's on Ultimate Spider-Man, so anything that man touches is, in my opinion, like flawless.
Oh, knocks out of the park. I will definitely say
that. The only thing that really matches that right now is the Transformers series.
Still funny what they did to
the Devastator RKOing Birdicus off the top of a skyscraper.
That is still funny. That is still funny. The fact they did a full-on RKO off the building, and yet
Chris, did you not read that issue?
No, I did. That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't get the Transformers series. I get.
So, if you're a pro wrestling fan, it's Danny Warren Johnson is the writer and sometimes the artist.
Okay.
He puts in a wrestling move and everything. We've seen Optimus do the clothesline from hell. We've seen the Burning Hammer. We've seen the Alabama Slam.
Yep.
We've seen the Scorpion Deathlock. And we have now seen, as I said, Devastator do an RKO to Bruticus off the top of a skyscraper into Seattle.
I mean, literally, the biggest Decepticon doing an RKO off a building. It's one of those, if I had the picture up, I'd show you. But yeah, just have that in your mind. Have that in your mind, Cap. If you ever think a Decepticon would do an RKO in full-on Randy Orton Legend Killer era, yes, it happened.
Oh my God. definitely worth the time, I suppose.
it
All you
is.
got to do is just Google Devastator RKO. It comes right up.
Hold on. While y'all do that, I'm gonna do that now. Okay, I have to see that.
Yeah, there it does have the screenshot. But what else you got, Joe? While Chris is looking that up.
No, that's it. Those are all the comics.
All right. Well,
are we excited for Disney's new Ranger show, or are we just hoping they don't botch it?
Little column A, little column B.
So
Chris
how this works is Disney is like Disney. Chris found it.
Yeah,
this is good. This is good. It's a classic.
Oh, you should see Optimus Prime do the Alabama Slam to one of the cassette to either Rumble or Frenzy. It just looks painful.
Oh,
but funny.
That is.
So how this works is it's like Doctor Who, where Hasbro's going to be producing the show, and Disney is just the streaming platform of which it's going to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's not like Disney's making it like they did Power Rangers before. Which is kind of bad because like Disney put out real bangers despite not wanting to give them a whole lot of money.
That part.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Ninja Storm through RPM is the Disney era, and there is not a bad season in there.
I did like Ninja Storm though.
That's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing that.
I mean, SPD is almost a one-for-one remake of Deca Ranger, and that's like my favorite of the Power Rangers outside of Jungle Fury and In Space.
Yep.
And
but
Lightspeed Rescue, but
still, we'll see what Disney comes up with.
I think they're just gonna. I think Hasbro's just gonna reboot Mighty Morphin. I really do. I don't think we're gonna get another adaptation. I think they're just gonna reboot it in some way, shape, or form, and we're starting from scratch again.
Well, I mean, that is the longest running one. So
the other problem is current Sentai is really hard to adapt because we could do Kira Major, which is the Gems and Imagination.
Okay.
We can't do Zenkaiger because that's the one with the White Ranger and the other Rangers are the mechs.
Yeah.
We can't do King Goger.
No, that's going to be a little on the expansive side. So
we definitely can't do Dawn Brothers because Acid's not available for children.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That's true. You need drugs to watch that show. That is one of those things where hardcore drugs need to enjoy that show. You could probably do Go Zoojer right now. The Sentai airing right now is pretty decent and capable of doing it, but like of the 5, you only have 2 that are fairly adaptable, and the more you go backwards, the worse it kind of gets because like. Oh, you could do Zoojer, which is the animal-themed one. You can't do Tokuger because the Megazord's mildly problematic and we're not mature enough.
Well, that'll never happen. I mean, I feel the maturity check on a daily basis.
Big trains as much as Japan is. So we're probably looking at a full reboot. In my opinion, the easiest thing to do would be to adapt the comic series into an animated series.
And the thing was, they were going to do an animated series before, and it got scrapped.
Show, yeah.
Yeah.
Sentai is becoming very, very prevalent in the animation industry because we get some form of Sentai every single season now. We're getting Red Ranger in Another World. Next season, we're getting that Kamen Rider show.
Yeah.
Got the dude who grew up with Kamen Rider, who is trying to stop this gang of bank robbers who dresses as Shocker.
Oh yeah, I have to bring up the trailer for that on the next episode, on the next podcast. But speaking on that, we definitely do gotta call it because again, we did start a little bit late. Sorry guys, life be lifing. But with that being said, we want to let everybody have their sign offs, let everybody know what they're doing. Cap, I'll start with you first. Let other people know what you're doing, sir.
If I'm not hosting the show for Blurred's Eye View, I'm doing somebody's voice work somewhere on some project. If I'm not doing that, I'm helping run stuff for Blurred Station. So check me out on all those places. You can check my latest voice work on Spotify through Talk Story to Me. Go to Talk Story to Me on Spotify. And I'm doing various voices over there on different audio dramas. So you can check me out there. We do the show Blurred's Eye Views live Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, and on YouTube and Twitch. We will not be back until next Thursday because adulting.
Right.
So we got some time off. So be sure when you tune in Thursday, we'll probably be talking about Daredevil episode 7. 5, 6, and 7, possibly.
Yep.
See how we can squeeze that in. If they haven't hit us with another 5.5 hour lineup of who else is going to be in Avengers Doomsday.
I think he was held hostage again for 5 hours.
Let him do it. I had my phone and I was making breakfast. I was fine.
Nice. All right. Joe had to step out for a second. Tafari, the man, the myth, the legend. Sir, you let people know what you're doing? Because I know you mentioned being back on the treadmill, sir. So I'm assuming we're back up and running.
Yeah, back up and running. 2 hours. We beat Sly 3 today, so we have completed and platinumed the entire trilogy. I have no idea what we're doing next. For April, I think we're going to make Wednesdays the final season of The Walking Dead, because that's one I have on the back burner. I think between Monday and Fridays, I will set to South of Midnight. I'm honestly trying to find other stuff to burn through or kill time. Other than that, few skits out here and there whenever I feel inspired. I'm working on a Kingdom Hearts one. Voice is popping up at a couple places, possibly. Helped a friend of ours with some outros and interlude stuff recently. Friend Kata had, what was the name of this podcast again? It was called, because he asked me to do one of his short stories. It is Coins and Items, The Audio Adventures by Kata Plus. So you can hear me, Roomful of Blurred, Celestial CJ, and other friends on that. And just other stuff I am working on in the background that will come to light eventually. So stay tuned.
Sweet. And at the same time, this man is always constantly working. So, and I mean, no days off. I'm just saying. But Joe, want to let people know, sir, what you're doing? Because I know you see you have a lot on the plate right now.
Not voice acting anything, but I'm open to it. Playing Middlebringer on Mondays. And then if I stream anytime, it's just because I have free time. Working on Monster Hunter. Working on Assassin's Creed. Working. Making sure my apartment's clean and taken care of. Life. No, really, I'm free for voice work. I don't know what kind of voice work I'll do, but I'm free. I promise.
All right.
No, I'm not trained in this. I am not trained in this at all. People just keep sending me emails and asking, and I'm just like, I don't know why me, but okay, I guess.
I'm just saying nothing wrong with that. Before I get to myself, guys, I always do shameless plugging. Shout out to APR TV, alwayspressrecord.com. Why? Because our show, Get Bit, Blurred's Eye View, How the Fact We Got Here, are all still on that network. Go ahead and check them out on the Roku app or the Amazon Fire TV app. Again, APR TV or alwayspressrecord.com. Again, they show us love. These are the channels we keep pointing out that we want to be the anti-Tubi, because Tubi is well worth over $100 million, but it's also owned by the same guys who own Fox. We can do better by taking our content, our viewership, and our dollars and putting it back in our pockets. APR TV is one of the places we can do it. Also, BlurredStation.com. We have talked about this, guys, for going on almost 2 years. We actually had a stream at BlurredCon just last month that actually ran for a while. You can actually check out BlurredCon on YouTube to see many of our faces there, including the man, the myth, the legend, Tafari TV, Roomful of Blurreds, Geek by Heart, Noir Vibes, Hellspawn Cosplay, three black geeks, If I forget anybody, it's not out of spite. It's just that I'm running on caffeine and hope right now. So if I missed anybody that was on that stream, I apologize. But definitely check out the stream of BlurredCon because again, it was fun. It was great. I love seeing cons where everybody is normal and nothing happens. Everybody's there to have fun. That's the entire point of a con. But BlurredStation.com, again, another area for our entertainment, our content, our viewership, most of our dollars to be going to. $10.99 a month to stream Blur Station. If you want to join, hit the Join Now button, select the Blur's Eye View Affinity membership. Any member there you can select, we'll be certainly appreciative of. But after paying $10.99 a month for 36 months, you do get the ability to own a piece of Blur Station. And it's never been easier to own a bit of a media consortium outside of simply going on stock market right now, although I highly recommend you shouldn't because some news from Canada came out and the stock market decided to take a nosedive. Literally. Just saying. Canada sat there and told us peace, and the stock market said peace to us too. So if you got stocks, don't look. Don't depress yourself. But check out BlurredStation.com for great entertainment. As for myself, guys, you can find me at the Give It Podcast on all socials. The Give It Podcast does have its own YouTube, Facebook pages. Like, share, subscribe. My personal page at Spartan 615. Like, share, and follow. Don't be weird. I won't bam you. And really, guys, at the same time, my rule, I just simply say, look, please don't doom scroll. There's a lot of stuff going on right now out in the world. We are simply, guys, just trying to, here at the Give It Podcast, bring some laughter, bring some hardiness, kind of distract you from the world from a bit. So again, protect your peace, protect your strength, check on your people, even your strong folks. Strong folks can be checked on too, as the Reverend Navy would say if he was here. At the same time, do something to make yourself laugh. If you have the ability to make somebody else laugh, do that. The world could use more of that. And simply put, everything will be fine. Check out Tafari TV as he still has his con series out there. I highly recommend that you do if you've never been to a con, because again, I have 3 rules. He has 9 episodes. I recommend the 9 episodes. But out of my 3 rules, respect the cosplayer at all times. Cosplay is not consent. Please treat people like human beings. It's not that freaking hard. At the same time, guys, wash your ass. I have kids now. My kids can easily get sick, which means that I get sick. So again, the way we can prevent common colds and flu and things of that nature, guys, clean yourself, clean clothes. Please do not come out here looking musty, because if I find out you're the reason my kids got sick, which got me sick, I'm whooping your ass. And the final rule that I have for myself, that I have for everybody else, in a world that is cruel, cold, be nice, be kind. Talk and share your fandoms. Don't be a dick, and we'll all be cool. But with that being said, guys, we will hopefully be back here next Friday, Saying Get Bit Time, Saying Get Bit channel, with news of the week. We will cover the future GamesCon as far as games that we thought of. I think if I'm not too far off, the Nintendo Direct next Direct is, I think, April the 2nd, or am I wrong on that, Joe?
It's next Wednesday, yes.
Okay,
or this Wednesday.
So April the 2nd is the next Nintendo Direct. So we will cover whatever news comes out of that, as well as anything else that may come from Avengers or from the world of MCU or DC, or just blurriness in general. With that being said, guys, any last words we call tonight?
Watch Daredevil.
Damn, at the same time? that was great timing.
One teaches you how to do the other. So
that's impressive.
And check on the company you keep and make sure they are valid, because between all the stuff I found out about other programming in the last 24 hours, between Zeus and the Ned's Declassified kids.
Yeah, we got to talk about that one. I got to ask you about that one. What did you find out? Because good Lord.
Yeah. Also, it doesn't hurt to go back and check who you follow, because who you follow may not be who you want to follow. Just saying. We're all finding this out the hard way. But again, with that being said, he's been Joe, he's been Tafari, he's been Chris, I've been Will. Somehow we've made this podcast unscathed. Thank you all for watching, guys. Take care of yourselves, each other. I promise we'll get through this. Have a good night, good weekend, and find something cool to drink, because it's freaking hot outside. Peace.